Hi, I'm Hw2. This video is about the homework 2, question 2. This problem is about the Markov chain, and the vector of the x1 is 0.2 and 0.8, and the probability matrix is 0.6, 0.4, 0.3, and 0.7. In the first question, it asks the problem that find the probability of x2 equals to 1. In order to get the x2, we need to multiply the x1 and the p, which is 0.2, vector 0.2, 0.8 to multiply the matrix 0.6, 0.4, 0.3, 0.7, and we can get the last answer, which is 0.36, 0.64. The first one is when x2 equals to 0, and the second one is x2 equals 1. And now we can know that the probability of x2 equals to 1, which is 0.64. The second question is asking the probability of the x3 equals to 1, which is similar to the first question. The x3 equals to x2 times p. We can use the x2 we get from the previous question, which is 0.36, 0.64 times the matrix of p. And we can get the last answer, which is 0.408 and 0.592. And the probability of the x3 equals to 1, which is the 0.592. The third question is asking about the probability x1 equals to 0 with the conditional x3 equals to 1. First, we can transform the formula to the probability of x3 equals to 1 with the conditional x1 equals to 0 times the probability of x1 equals to 0 over the probability of the x3 equals to 1. Now we need to calculate the probability of the x3 equals to 1 with the conditional x1 equals to 0, because we already know the probability of the x1 equals to 0 and the probability of the x3 equals to 1. And the probability of the x3 equals to 0 with the conditional x1 equals to 0 is the conditional of the probability matrix of the 0 to 0 times 2 probability 0 to 1 plus the probability of 0 to 1 times the probability 1 to 1. This one means we with the x1 equals to 0 to the x2 equals to 0. And this one means that the x2 equals to 0 to x3 equals to 1. This is the x1 equals to 0 to the x2 equals to 1, and then x2 equals to 1 to the x3 equals to 1. So there are these two situations. So which is 0.6 times 0.4 plus the 0.4 times 0.7, which is 0.52. And at last, we can get the probability of the x1 equals to 0 with the conditional x3 equals to 1, which equals the 13 over 74 at last. Then the last question, which is ask the probability of the limitation when n equals to infinity, xn equals to 0. We can know that the xn equals to xn minus 1 times p. And when it goes to infinity, this xn should be the same as this xn minus 1. So we can use the x mu to submutate it. So we can use the x mu equals to x mu times p. So it is mu1, mu2 equals to mu1, mu2 times the matrix of p. And with the formula and the x1 plus x2 equals to 1, we can get that the mu1 equals to 3 over 7. And the mu2 is the 4 over 7. So the x mu's vector, which is 3 over 7 and 4 over 7. So the limitation of n equals to infinity, which is probability of xn equals to 0, which is 3 over 7. That's all of this question.